maybe here is a good segue into one of the stories you're most infamous for, which is the orange pilling of the Giga Chad himself.
Yeah, sure. So Michael and I have been friends for more than 20 years. We hang out quite a bit, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. One of the big topics that we talk about are investments in technology. Michael has a unique gift, kind of tying back to some of the stuff we spoke about before about identifying technological network effects. I mean, if you look at the book, The Mobile Wave, that he wrote, where he kind of predicted exactly how mobile phones and apps would change, dematerialize things and change our lives, he was spot on that. And some people see these things just a little bit earlier than others. Mm-hmm. And, I think that pertains directly to Bitcoin. But initially when I kind of got into the space, Michael, was fairly strong in his language that he didn't think I was making a good career choice. And, so I would still bring it up every once in a while, but he still didn't bite, and he's too polite to tell me I'm a fucking idiot. So we just kind of would change the subject. And then, it was during these COVID lockdowns. We were spending, obviously there wasn't much to do. We were spending a lot of time at his place because the surroundings are quite comfortable. And we're sitting by the pool and we're talking about, we saw the economy coming to a screeching halt, right? We saw what was happening, maybe a little before most people. Certainly Michael saw it before most people. And we realized that the global economy was to a large degree going to get shut down. And so we kind of panicked and sold a lot of our investments, in particular tech investments, thinking that, well, shit, this can't be good. We didn't have an appreciation or factor in the insane money printing that took place and just how that would lead to asset inflation that would dramatically outpace and overshadow, the monetary inflation for a time being in stocks, right? So Disney was one that drove me crazy. They were in the worst business possible. They laid off a huge chunk of their employees. Their cruise ships shut down, movie theaters shut down, theme parks shut down. Yeah, they had Disney Plus over the top, but even that's still not expected to be profitable to 2025. And the stock is up 100% from where it was pre-COVID. So is Disney worth 2x what it was, or is maybe the dollar worth less, right? And so we sold those things, and we're kind of sitting around scratching our heads, and that scratching our heads turned to a little bit of anger at the money printing that was happening. And Michael remembers me saying, anytime there's big change like this, there's opportunity. We just have to kind of, find what that area of opportunity is. Change is good. We need to find the opportunity here. And then I guess I started talking about Bitcoin, as I often do. And this time, instead of ignoring it or changing the subject, he looked at me very seriously and he said, "Tell me more about this." And that started the better part of a week, certainly a few days worth of as deep a discussion on Bitcoin as I was capable of. And as the world now knows, no one person is capable of providing enough information for Michael on anything. So once he had absorbed everything that I had, he asked me, where else can I learn more? And I pointed him to, a bunch of resources, whatever I could. And he continued to, do his research and go down the rabbit hole. And then I helped him get some access to purchasing Bitcoin. And then one day I'm pulling into a restaurant here to meet some friends for dinner, and the phone rings, and it's him, and he doesn't usually call, usually text. We usually text or something. So it was a little unusual. And so I answered the phone and I'm like, "What's up?" And he says, "Well, I bought some Bitcoin." And I said, "Oh, congratulations." And he said, "Yeah, 10,000. And at the time, Bitcoin was about $10,000 per Bitcoin. And so I was like, "Really? You're calling me to tell me that you bought one Bitcoin?" So I was like, "You bought one Bitcoin, dude?" And he goes, there's a pause, and he goes, "No, Eric, I bought 10,000 Bitcoin. And I was like, holy shit, that's $100 million, right? So I instantly went from trying to orange pill my buddy and getting him into Bitcoin to thinking, oh shit, he just put a lot of money into this. And if there's one thing that I've learned in being in Bitcoin, for this time, is that it's volatile and we all have good days and we all have bad days, so to speak. And all I could think is, I hope that my buddy has a good experience, because that's an awful lot of money. So anyway, that was that's kind of how it all started. Wow.
That's such an amazing. So I'm sure you were shocked in that moment too. 10,000, it's just a massive, it's not exactly a dipping toe in the water.
Yeah. I went from thinking, I got to get this guy involved in this to, what have I done? And you just start thinking like pragmatically, like you don't want it to impact your friendship with somebody like you've been buddies a long time. And so I'm glad that it's worked out well. And now I think he's purchased north of $3 billion, in total. So what I didn't know at the time was that he was in conversations with his board to try to buy it. And then, this was a personal purchase at 100 million. So yeah, it was certainly a fun and interesting time. And, I remember being with him when Bitcoin hit 12,000 after his purchase, and kind of like, we're not obsessed with the price, either one of us, but that was kind of like, like I felt like a weight went off me, and I think we high-fived or something, but it was, I felt relief, I was like, okay. And so now I'm like, just for the record, this has all worked out well.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. I mean, his timing was great. So that was definitely helpful.
He's got a gift for spotting these things, but I think even equally importantly is like the ethos and the passion, and I think everybody in life, you got to stand for something, and it kind of ties into the political conversation we had. And this was something that, we both believe in. I mean, you can hear it in the passion and all the time you've spent with him and other chats he's given. I mean, he is all in, not just from a financial point of view, but from a passion, emotional, and genuinely believes in Bitcoin in every aspect of it, in helping the world. So I think he's thrilled that he's found another thing in life, not that he was lacking something between his company and education, but he's found something in life that he's happy to put his time and effort and money into.
Yeah, I think, that's what really makes him stand apart. Frankly, it's clearly his financial move into Bitcoin is massive, right? But it's that in addition to all of the explanatory framework where he's I mean, again, I read his book, Mobile Wave, in preparation for our series together. I mean, this guy gets it. He gets tech. Yep. He gets network effects. He gets history. He gets these implications. It's
unbelievable.
But he's still hats off to you for persevering on the orange pilling, because I would be questioning myself. Like, if a guy like that was telling me, Bitcoin's bogus, dude, and you're like, well, this guy fucking gets it. What am I not seeing?
We've had a number of other related conversations. I mean, I remember, I think it was probably 2013, 2014 timeframe. We were on vacation somewhere, and he started telling me how the die is cast and Apple has won. And at the time, Apple had about 20% of the mobile phone market, and Android had roughly 80. And we had this really interesting long conversation where he explained to me that, the iOS platform might only have 20% of the users, but it's got 80% of the world's money, and that iOS was going to win and Apple was going to crush it. And the analogy he used at the time, because he's great at analogies, was if you own banks, would you rather have 20% of the banks and 80% of the world's money, or 80% of the banks and 20% of the world's money? And so, hey, I made big investments in Apple based on that conversation. But yes, he gets it. He gets it earlier than most. He's got a gift for seeing these things, and then he just has unbelievable guts and fortitude to go all in. He had a nice lifestyle before this. He did not need to go all in on Bitcoin, but he did.
Yeah.
And he believes in it like so passionately and so strongly.
Yeah. Again, we were talking about Genghis Khan at the beginning of this, to have leaders that lead from the front, like he actually put his money where his mouth is. He put his skin in the game. And I would argue he is even exhibiting soul in the game, right? He is taking certain types of risk to be so publicly outspoken about it. But to represent it, and to represent Bitcoin philosophically, even, and that he's explaining the why as much as he's explaining the what.